In 1838, Emperor Daoguang appointed Lin Zexu as commissioner to Canton to solve the opium problem. Lin was regarded as the capable, determined officer. He decided to forbid the opium trade totally. When he arrived in Canton, he employed different strategies on both Chinese and British to reach his goal. For Chinese, he set up rehab house to help those smokers quitting opium, punished those heavy smokers, and for Chinese merchants who smuggle opium, Lin arrested them and confiscated their opium. Some Chinese merchants were even executed, but for foreign merchants, Lin was very cautious, at the beginning at least. At first, Lin did not plan to punish the British merchants directly. He sought help from the British government. Lin even wrote a letter to Queen Victoria, asking her help to regulate those British merchants and the opium trade. This letter was never received by Queen Victoria, but we could find Lin Zexu's argument in this letter. Let's have a look. Lin pointed out the smoking of opium was very strictly forbidden by your country. Why do you let it be passed on to harm of other countries? And often he asked the queen to check your wicked and sniffed your vicious people before they came to China, in order to guarantee the peace of your nation. Those request was quite fair, but as we mentioned, this letter never found Victoria, and Lin Zexu did not receive any feedbacks. So Lin Zexu decided to take some tough actions to those British merchants. First, Lin Zexu sent soldiers to block the foreign factories in Canton, cutting off the food and water supplies. Lin Zexu wanted to compel them hand in their opium and sign an agreement to give up the opium trade. The foreign merchants gave in. They handed in almost 20,000 chest opium to Lin Zexu. Those opium was destroyed at Humen. This was a big victory for Lin, but those merchants would not sign the agreement. So Lin Zexu expelled them from Canton to Macau. Charles Elliot, as British business superintendent in China, tried to protect British interests, but it did not work. Both sides would not give in, and tension between China and Britain lasted. And then an incident intensified the conflict. Several British soldiers killed a Chinese man, Lin Weixi, by accident. Lin Zexu wanted to trial those murders by Chinese law, but Elliot insisted that they would be sent back to Britain, be tried by British law. Both sides would not settle. In September 9, 1839, a conflict broke out between Chinese Navy and the British Navy, and on January 30, the British Parliament voted and decided to declare war to China. This was the Opium War. This war lasted for 3 years. Here is a map showing the process and the battles in the war. But we don't have enough time for the details. Simply speaking, this war could be divided into 3 phases. During the first phase, British Navy attacked Guangzhou and several coastal cities of China. The emperor was not happy, and Lin Zexu was dismissed. Lin Zexu's successor, Qi Shan, drafted a treaty with Elliot. This was the Chuanbi Treaty, Chuanbi 条约, but both China and Britain was not satisfied with the treaty, and the war carried on. During the second phase, British occupied Canton City, and the local people at Sanyuanli fought back British troops, and then Portugal was appointed as British commander. He decided to attack Chinese coastal cities again. This was the third phase. Benefit from the Industrial Revolution, British troops was equipped with more powerful rifle guns, gunboats, and cannons. They got one victory after another, and in the summer of 1842, they entered the Yangtze River and was going to attack Nanjing, the most important city in East Asia, East China at that time. Finally, the Qing government realized that they could not defend the British gunboats, and there was no way they could beat British Navy out of China. Daoguang Emperor sent his representatives to negotiate with Britain, and they reached an agreement to end the war. On 29 August 1842, the Treaty of Nanking was signed. This treaty contained 13 articles. Most of them was the requirements from Britain. This was the original copy of this treaty. It was written in both English and Chinese. If you are interested, you can read the full text in the first reading section. But we won't check those articles one by one. Let me summarize the main points and find out what Britain got from this treaty. Firstly, China was forced to open 5 port cities to Britain, including Canton, Amoy, Fuzhou, Ningbo, and Shanghai. Britain could live in those cities and do business directly with Chinese. This declared the end of the Gonghang monopoly.